A variety of topics today.
And not the least of which, Amy Coney Barrett. Barrett will be voted on Monday by the Senate. President Donald Trump having appointed more than 230 federal judges as president. This year, we won't be seeing SGA slates going head to head. But even with only one slate on the ballot, this will still be an election. Again, the magic number is 270. That's what the candidates are looking for tonight. Vice President Mike Pence has landed here in Fort Wayne at the Aero Center. This comes after a few stops in Michigan, and now he's made his way back home to his home state of Indiana, and with less than 2 weeks to the election. Guys, you may have heard of the All Red family, maybe even the hashtag All Red Strong, but this family is reaching out as far as they can to remind people that it's never too late to change your story. And there's no doubt the topic of today was long-term facilities and the spread of COVID-19 within them. Yeah, guys, this Senate meeting was a final push for Connor and his team. There's still work to be done in student government. The team met today to talk about what they want to see go through, whether it happens in these next 14 days or not.
On the timeline.
Right, well, this relationship between the FBI and Muncie dates all the way back to 2016 when Tyler first officially stated that the FBI was looking into the city's, quote, possible wrongdoing. Now, city offices were online at 8 a.m. and of course we will continue to keep you updated as election coverage could change on air and online. And of course another debate will happen here on Newslink Indiana next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Something you may not have even known your phone has, a feature called COVID-19 exposure logging. And if you have an iPhone, it's as simple as opening up settings, scrolling down to privacy, clicking on health, and there it is. IMPD says a group of kids were out here walking at about 2 o'clock this morning. That's allegedly when 14-year-old Curtis White Jr. attempted to rob the suspect but was then shot and killed. The second call to the area overnight and the 91st homicide this year. And if you haven't reported anything yet, just search Muncie Street Reporting Hub. You can even vote on which street you'd like to see fixed first. Other Muncie residents already have. Businesses that expect more people can also expect more germs. That's why some are looking into technology that can test
temperature detected is normal
for COVID-19 symptoms. Brenda Cole is out this year with two things, a bell and a mask. Brenda has been ringing the bell.
I've been 29 years.
And this year is no exception.
I love coming to work every day. Hi. Hello. I wouldn't change it for the world. Have a great holiday.
And because she knows how important giving can be. Brenda saw her sister's life change after her home was impacted by the flood. The Salvation Army was there in their time of need.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too.
And now she's here to give back.
All the people that can't afford to get holiday stuff, so that's the reason why we step in.
Some days up to 6 hours.
Thank you.
Ringing the bell. But there's a reason she's ringing the bell alone.
Normally what we hear is this is part of tradition. And we hear that from a lot of our volunteer bell ringers as well. It's our family tradition to ring the bell.
A tradition stopped for some by the pandemic.
The concerns are the possibility of catching COVID, the possibility of spreading COVID. Usually we have several hundred. We haven't even reached 100 yet. Maybe there's a bucket hanging out and no one's there ringing. The more concerning one is where you see a stand and there's no bucket at all. That means there are no volunteers, no bell ringers available to stand there. With that, there's no collection.
But even during the pandemic,
the needs are even worse than they normally are.
The need doesn't stop. But as long as the donations are coming in,
thank you.
Brenda will be here.
Have a good holiday, fellas.
Ringing her bell.
Thank you.
In Muncie, Annie Keister, Newslink, Indiana.
Well, we were all worried, if we were going to stay open or not.
Most know Merck's as the restaurant with airplanes. Some know the Merkel family. But what some might not know is that amidst the pandemic, Merck's was in trouble.
So it's hard when everybody's at home and don't have the customers, flowing through.
Merck's was hit hard during March and April, prepared for each week to be their last. Even a quick Facebook search still says the restaurant is permanently closed.
Well, we didn't have inside service for several months, so the girls would run the food outside.
Something especially hard for a place like Merck's.
open the car door, put it in the back seat. I mean, there was no touching, no talking, no anything, you know.
A restaurant with above average customers.
They're very loyal. Some of them eat here 2-3 times a day.
The girls, people come in, they know everybody by name.
You know, and when somebody comes in day after day for the last 6 years, you kind of know what they eat.
But thanks to those customers and receiving the PPP loan back in May, the restaurant is in fact open for business and at around 60% normal activity, feeding their supporters and hoping that someday they can be back to their regular visits.
I miss the ones that haven't been back. When one of them do come back, it's like, oh, I'm so glad you're all right, you know.
You just go with the flow, you know. After this crisis, there'll be another one, you know. That's about how I feel about it.
Just keep coming back in, knowing that, you know, we're doing everything we can to keep everybody safe and healthy.
In Muncie, Annie Heister, NewsLink, Indiana.